So a few weeks ago, we had to use my laptop at the very last moment for our live stream because of some tech issues. And afterwards, my mom called me up and told me I needed to find a computer to use that wasn't covered in stickers. Love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. So today I thought I'd tell you about my stickers. This one says, introverted but willing to discuss prison abolition. This one is a little dinosaur holding a cup of tea, and it says TEA Rex. This one says my literary superpower is gravitas. A preacher's got to have that. This one says abortion is healthcare. This one gives my pronouns she, her. This one says uproot tendencies toward policing others that exist inside you. And this one is my favorite. It's a picture of a vase of wildflowers with a UU chalice on it, and it says, weeds are a social construct. I'll get rid of that for my mom. So how do they go together? A lot of them are about proclaiming resistance to systems of control, and obviously I love tea and writing with gravitas. Why, you may wonder, add the one about the weeds? Well, because weeds are our teachers, and wildflowers are our mentors for finding just the right ground for your particular beauty to thrive. This spring at my house, we've been slowly replacing our front beds with native wildflowers and learning so much about their unique personalities. Sweet William likes the shade and not too very much water. Cardinal Flower is happy to sit in a puddle. And Columbine are likely to spring up volunteer all over the place. There is no wrong way to be a flower or a plant when there are so many different kinds to grow in so many changing and varied grounds. But in front of our wildflower beds stretch yards and yards of one single kind of grass, which always needs mowing. I cheer every time I see a run of wild violets or clover taking away a patch of that infernal grass yard. Our space is an expression of our history, and here's the truth. Replacing a vast array of thriving native plants and wildflowers with a monoculture of lawn grass happened as an embodiment of colonizer culture. It is an object lesson in the way that colonizing not only seizes and privatizes the land, but then brings it forcibly into line with monoculture planting and very particular and limited ideas of beauty. Weeds are a social construct because weeds is mostly another name for native plants that defy the colonial desire for control. Plants and flowers that are free, unbound, and, well, wild. But you belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere you feel free. I have one sunny spot in my whole yard. The whole yard has one sunny spot where the previous homeowners planted a vegetable patch. But I am a terrible gardener, which means that every year I plant a few veggie starts and then promptly forget about them. So since we've been in this house, that sunny spot every year becomes very, very wild. And for a while, I was deeply ashamed of it, this totally overgrown patch of weeds, some of them taller than me. But then I noticed during our pandemic year, when I spent a lot of time looking out my window, that the birds and bees and butterflies and hummingbirds loved my tall weeds. They loved them. So I stopped calling them weeds and being ashamed of them. And now that spot is my native prairie. And I can see its beauty. We belong among the wildflowers. We belong somewhere we feel free. Now, there are some plants that are truly invasive, almost always ones that were transplanted here from another ecosystem, and those we do need to weed out. Our freedom exists alongside other free bodies and cannot ever mean the freedom to dominate others. Choking kudzu and bush honeysuckle cannot be left to spread wildly, just as we are not free to strike down anyone around us in our pursuit of happiness, or to control other bodies in the pursuit of our own vision of the world. And we know that supremacy systems seek to control the vast and beautiful diversity of bodies by punishing or even weeding out those that do not conform to their narrow definition of what is right or normal or beautiful. Supremacy systems would like the world to be only one plant, all kudzu, all grass. Supremacy systems fear our gorgeous, free diversity, so they seek to control our bodies. Our bodies, which are like the wildflowers, so different, so beautiful. Our bodies, some of which need abortions, our bodies, some of which need gender-affirming health care, our bodies which need the love of other bodies, whether we are gay, straight, lesbian, bi, ace, queer, pan, demi, poly, or any other ways of being a lover of the world. Our bodies which need respect for their wild and luscious array of sizes. Our bodies which need access to space and inclusion in 100 different changing ways over the course of their lives. And here we are today, amid systems that are seeking to control our bodies, amid systems that would prefer a vast stretch of sameness. Here we are celebrating our flower ceremony. Here we are proclaiming there is no wrong way to bloom, no wrong way to be a body. We come celebrating each and every body and person in this room as an inherently dignified moral agent, connected to all the other bodies in this room, and good. Good for no other reason than existing in this gorgeous, interdependent web of life. We belong among the wildflowers. We deserve to be connected and free. When I first encountered the flower ceremony that many UUs have celebrated for almost 100 years, I thought it was sweet, but not that deep. Every passing year proves me wrong. It is very deep to look at this wild array of flowers and count them each exactly right, just as they are, and to observe the beauty that they magnify in one another amid all their difference, all that is wild and uncontrollable. And every year now, I remember that Norbert Čapek, the Czech Unitarian minister who created this ritual, was later killed by the Nazis because his gospel of the inherent worth and dignity of every person was deemed, as Nazi court records show, quote, too dangerous to the Reich for him to be allowed to live. Dr. Čapek was sent in 1940 to Dachau, where he was killed the next year. But we know from his writings that even in the concentration camp, in the face of such horror, Čapek's hope for the world of wildflowers, free and unbound, endured. Just before his death, he wrote these words: "It is worthwhile to live and fight courageously for sacred ideals. Oh, blow ye evil winds into my body's fire, my soul you'll never unravel. Be grateful, my soul, my life was worth living." Our bodies, our wildness is good, and it's ours, and they cannot take it away. Our souls, you'll never unravel. We are like the wildflowers, and we deserve to be free. Free to love, free to choose, free to grow and bloom. We are like the wildflowers, and we deserve to be together, connected in all our beautiful difference, together finding our places to thrive, together making room for each and all, a great native prairie of humanity. And there is nothing shallow about that. Mary Oliver writes, "All day under the shifty wind, as in a dance to the great wedding, the flowers bend their bright bodies and tip their fragrance to the air and rise, their red stems holding all that dampness and recklessness gladly and lightly. And there it is again. Beauty the brave, the exemplary, blazing open. There are forces in this world that are very afraid of we wildflowers, all that recklessness, gladness, and lightness. And that is why we must rise and blaze open, showing the world fearlessly all of who we are, all the ways we refuse to be controlled or brought into line, all the ways we dance in the wind together in our gorgeous difference. Dear ones, you belong among the wildflowers. You are Beauty the Brave. Be wild, be connected, be free.